We're racing in Alabama.
You see a very even front row taking off. That's because the two cars behind the front row were able to lock on and give a good push to get going. That's okay on restarts to give that push to get rolling. And at this point here is where you're going to see the line start to form up, and whichever line gets the most organized first will probably push ahead.
Yeah, and right now it looks like that outside line is the one that's going to get organized first. But as we've seen in the past with this particular race, you never really know which lane is going to be the one that is the fastest, but definitely going to be who gets formed first, like you say.
Right here you see those two cars able to break free almost as Ryan Siegs gets to the outside of Michael Annett. That'll keep that two wide going for a while.
Trouble front straightaway as they come across the start-finish line. That's the 19 of Brandon Jones. Second here a season ago, third at Daytona earlier this year, and was 10th when his Toyota got away from him.
Here you see him down on the bottom.
And that's easy to do right there. That very bottom lane of the tri-oval is a lot less banking than one lane up. And when you hang that seam like that, that car starts to unload the back, and he just wound up in a dead spot right there and just spun out.
Your help is one back straight line. Back down to him when you see his door. Break down tight. There you go. Roll up off. Keep the momentum going here. Make him chase you. 39's coming to you with a push from the 18. Your help tightest. Stay up off him here. Stay up off him. Let the run roll. Let the run roll. Let the run roll. Still inside. Clear. 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 39's not clear yet behind you.
And we got a good battle. You see that Ross got underneath Tyler Reddick finally. Tyler's got Austin Cindric pushing him behind him. This is going to be a lot of fun right here.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me nervous about all this is the side drafting that Ross does in the middle of the corner when he goes up the racetrack. And if Tyler Reddick tries to come down at the same time, might make for a mess. But right now they're putting on a heck of a show, and it's fun to watch.
You know how it is. You get someone right on your left rear quarter, and you get someone right behind you taking the air off that spoiler. That car gets really loose really fast. Well, here we come to on the final lap here at the end of the stage.
Yeah, our timing and scoring got out of sequence. This is, in fact, the final lap of the stage here. Reddick down low, slides back up in front of Cindric. Bell out of line.
And this is where it gets interesting. Everyone coming to the line, everyone just bails on each other, trying to get every spot that's there, and the runs really die out. But those guys did a great job.
Opening stage to Tyler Reddick. Chastain was second. Cindric third. Sieg and Gaulding complete the top five. For the driver from California, it's his second stage victory of 2019.
So this is one of the first times we've seen teammates up front. Noah Gragson, Justin Allgaier up front here racing for the lead. I know they both want the lead pretty bad at this point, so it'll be interesting once they get single file. If they get single file, will those two work together to try to take control of the field?
Yeah, and a lot of times you see that teammate stuff work out right on the start, where you have the top line be the leader and the bottom line let him in. So we didn't see any of that teamwork on this start between those two.
Also want to pay off Justin Haley was caught speeding on that cycle of stops in the 11. He's another one of those we'll watch coming from the back. On board with Haley here, and right behind him, Ross Chastain, his teammate. Those two won stage 1 and stage 2 down at Daytona, the other plate race.
And passing the first 15 or 20 cars after a penalty, those are the easier ones to get by. As you get closer to the front, it gets a little tougher. And here you see a car up in the wall. That's Brett Moffitt.
That's Sieg leading him. Chastain behind him, then it's Cindric. Bell drops down there as well. Side draft for Allgaier, all of it happening behind Gragson.
Top lane is rolling.
Yeah, and Sieg knew how anxious that Ross Chastain was, and he just went ahead and pulled down there, and he was fairly confident that Ross was going to go with him.
And what Sieg needed there is just a little bit more of a run to get to the side-by-side with the leader of Noah Gragson, and was not quite close enough to do it. He's still going to have a gain at the end of this of where he was and gained a couple spots.
Michael Annett a part of that battle. John Hunter Nemechek is up there, although he is a lap down. Back to the start-finish line. Noah Gragson wins stage 2. First career stage victory for him, and Allgaier was able to get second.
Still inside, barely bumper. Get all the help here, man. All clear, just so you know. Protect the button, look inside. One back to your help. Neither one of us have help by one. Still outside.
Woo!
2 back to our help.
There's a couple of dirt racers there, Bell and Briscoe.
And you see when you get to bumpers on each other like that and you start bumping, and if you're lined up just the wrong way, just the wrong angle, the cars take big sets like that, and you're going to see that happen more and more towards the end of this race as drivers get more and more aggressive. And right now in restarts, they see the best opportunity to gain spots, so they get pretty aggressive.
And I just feel like, you know, when Ross Chastain is in control of the race, I feel like he's going to be the most aggressive in trying to control those 2 lines with the blocking. We saw Tyler Reddick do a good job at it, and as soon as I say that, he doesn't block it and gets past. So it's definitely going to come down to more aggression and get more aggressive as we go towards the end of the race. And some of those moments that haven't happened yet probably have more of an opportunity to happen because of the aggression.
Brandon Jones trying to get the lead here in that bottom lane and receiving help from the one of Michael Annett, who started on the pole, dropped back, and I think Annett going backwards early in this race was by design. He's got a fast car, and he's returned to the front. And this was our first caution of the day. Brandon Jones went a lap down, and now he's leading at Talladega.
How about that? First caution, next thing you know, you're in the lead, possibly can win the race. Not a bad recovery.
Well, now we see Michael Annett has been able to get in front of Ross Chastain, and I believe that's a really good spot to be. I think Ross is going to be one of the better pushers if we get towards the end of this race. I think he's going to be one of the more aggressive guys that can help you make time and stay out front.
We get our 4th caution of the day. Merry Christmas, Tyler Reddick. And that is Ray Black Jr., who came screaming into his pit stall. Wow.
Yeah, we see Ray Black Jr. obviously has some problems underneath the car, and there was a piece of debris I just happened to look and saw come tumbling down the racetrack in turn 1.
And there you see it, not too long before those cars behind him are going to try to shuffle out David Starr, just because they're not used to that car there. And I think it's almost a comfort thing. And you see how that splits up the whole pack. Is the most unorganized restart we've had so far.
And things starting to mix up at the front of the field for the lead. That's Allgaier, who's never won on a plate race in the 7, getting help from the aforementioned Chase Briscoe.
And those guys on the bottom were working back there for a long time, and they finally got enough cars with them that are disciplined enough to do it the right way. Stay behind each other, make up your time around the corner with the shorter distance, and work that side draft down the straightaways. Everyone's got to do their part in this. If you have one person that bails out and gets back in or doesn't work the side draft like you're supposed to, the bottom lane won't work. But man, they pulled that thing all the way up to be side by side with the leader, Christopher Bell, and there's a good chance that one of them's going to take the lead here in a little bit.
Were you a little bit surprised that Christopher Bell didn't at least pull down and try to play the lanes?
I think so. I think eventually, as someone gets that close to you, you would eventually say, hey, the bottom's moving, let me get down there. But you can also say what's been working for you is hard to get off of sometimes.
Noah Gragson out of line, going to bring out the caution for the 5th time today. Looked like exactly what we saw from Brandon Jones early in the race, but unfortunately, the rookie from Las Vegas makes contact with the inside wall, and just like Jones at the time of the incident, he was riding in the 10th position.
Yeah, and there you see what we talked about earlier. He tries to come down, and the 2-car comes down and just kind of got squeezed and had to pull the wheel to the left to try to go down and spun out.
Everybody wants to win this thing. It's going to get crazier and crazier towards the end of this. And you see how Christopher Bell in that bottom lane were side drafting down the straightaway. That's just them trying to hold them back. They're going to make all their time up in the corners, and then down the back straightaway here, you see the top lane's going to build that momentum off the top side, and at that point, it's up to the bottom lane to try to slow up that top lane as best as possible. As you see
Big crash. Annette out of line. Into Allgaier. Cole Custer into the wall.
He just gets a little to the right and
caught him in that right rear corner of the bumper, it looks like.
Now just watch 7, Allgaier. Is he living right, or is he living right?
It's a scary feeling when you start spinning in front of the field and all you're just waiting for another big impact. And he's really going to come out of this with not much damage at all. Everyone is taking every little gap that's there, and here comes a crash.
That's Earnhardt. Got into the 86 to the 51 of Jeremy Clements. Timmy Hill in that as well.
Justin Allgaier.
There you see the 4 wide. Oh, it's just so tight. You get a car right on your door like that, you're going to get loose.
And there's just so many cars around him, there's nowhere to correct. And the car just got out from underneath him right there. And unfortunately for the guys on the outside, he had to come up the racetrack to try to catch it.
No wiggle room.
There's no wiggle room.
It's nice to have a little wiggle room every now and again.
Yeah, and Justin Allgaier, he was wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
And I was just getting ready to say, despite the damage, he's coming back to the front. And if this doesn't happen, he may very well have gotten there. Once they get back to the white, next flag will end the race. Got one out of line. Reddick on that inside lane, and here we go to finish it at Talladega.
And the bottom line gets the push here. He's going to shove out Tyler Reddick. Can Austin Cindric follow with him? No, he can't.
Too far out now. One back. They're even behind you. 20 has the advantage by half.
And this is when the runs get really big, when the cars get spread out like that, and then they form in the 2 or 3 cars back and get a run on the leader.
That's Cindric down to the inside of Christopher Bell. Bell getting a push from Chase Briscoe.
They're cover both lanes. They're locking back together here. 20 is going to have a big run coming here, but the 22 is still inside. Let's back up 1. 20 is clearing your mirror now. Cover half low.
That's where the spotter helped a lot. He saw where the top was tighter and that lane was going to be moving.
Through the tri-oval to the white flag. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Half. Keep him straight line here. Straight line.
Bell getting aggressive. That red and yellow car is Gray Golding trying to pull a huge upset at Talladega. He's up to second. Here comes Chase Briscoe in the 98. All of it behind the 2 of Tyler Reddick, who continues to block. Golding to the outside. Reddick goes high.
Keep him at your bumper. 08 is clear behind. Keep him at your bumper. Back down 1. Half back here. Next 2 are single file here. 3/4 back. Watch for him to lay back here. Half back here. He can't get a run with what he's doing. The 20 is 1 back behind.
Remember the start-finish line all the way down at the end of the tri-oval. Reddick out front. He went into the wall early. From wreck to victory lane, Tyler Reddick a winner at Talladega.
I'm going to tell you guys what, Tyler Reddick and his spotter just did a phenomenal job. I mean, those are really, really aggressive moves, and those 2 deserve a lot of credit. That was awesome.
That was amazing.
Family 1. Good job, boys. Let's go.
$100,000 for these guys as well.
Well, a big celebration about to come here. One of the most excited drivers that I have seen pull into victory lane in a very long time. Tyler Reddick gets the job done today at Talladega. $100,000, water bottles flying, checks flying. Tyler, this is one of the most Tyler Reddick-esque wins I think I've ever seen. This race car is absolutely destroyed on a super speedway. You were adamant that you wanted spotter Derek Nealon to be on the roof for you this season. How big of a part was that in what you just accomplished today?
Well, he did a hell of a job. You looks like you got some stuff in your eyes. His eyes are burning, but hell of a job. All our guys are rolling. Rich Schultz Racing Chevrolet. Derek did so good up there all day long. I tried to take us out of this race so many times, and somehow we got back in the mix, got back to the lead, and I'm worried about your eyes, but we got a good day.